When I had heard that there was going to be an anime adaptation of Akiba's Trip, I was pretty excited. Last year I picked up Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed for the PS Vita, and it was one of those games that I couldn't bring myself to put down. The PS Vita has earned itself the reputation as a handheld for indie platformers and an endless sea of JRPGs, but Akiba's Trip is an action beat-em-up game with a story based around otaku culture at the otaku mecca, Akihabara. So when I seen the poster for Akiba's Trip and seen the character designs look like this, and we wouldn't actually be getting this, my initial reaction was, let's see. After then watching the first episode, my feelings were that the main character was really insufferable, and while the color on the character designs may look pretty, I didn't think that the characters themselves were. Not initially. At least not the main guy, Tomotsu, and the main girl, Mayo. Little sister is adorable, and Busty Blonde is okay. But I told myself that this is an adaptation of Akiba's Trip and I should just keep watching since Akiba's beat keeps getting pushed back, and I gotta say, it's really not that bad. For those of you who have played Akiba's Trip for the Vita, I like to imagine that main character here is what we get at the beginning of the game when you're strapped down to the chair and they give you the option of select choices where all you pick is the shit that has to do with your collectibles rather than your well-being. Quick tidbit, on my second playthrough of the game, I clicked on all of these answer pieces and I got a game over at the beginning of the game. Your lack of fear for your well-being doesn't even garner you the chance to defend yourself and thus not being able to start the events that play throughout the game. Akiba's Trip isn't a franchise or a series that is trying to break any walls of philosophy and human development. It's a franchise about fan service and it damn well knows this, so it doesn't try to take itself seriously. So when it came to writing the anime adaptation, I like to think that the writers would much rather have taken liberties and create their own storyline with its own characters since the setting and the premise is relatively the same. I like to think that way they are not constrained to creating an adaptation with a silent insert protagonist that is the PS Vita game. That shit is okay in a video game when your character is literally made to mold how you want them. So they went ahead and created an insufferable otaku who can relate to any kind of otaku. I watched the first episode of Persona 4 the animation, and while I can really respect that they tried to be faithful towards the source material, the protagonist was just there. So I'm glad that the writers took a different approach with Akiba's Trip. While Tomotsu may come off as an annoying extremist, I think that his personality works really well with the episodic nature of the show. His personality allows Tomotsu to be able to instantly get into whatever hobbies any otaku in real life is into. Each episode is centered around a theme of different hobbies, and in one episode they're parodying Yu-Gi-Oh! And in another episode, the plot is centered around a video game competition around fighting games like Street Fighter, while some other episodes are centered around working at a maid/butler cafe. There's even an episode for the wrestling fanatics out there. While Mayo may act as a straight man to any normies out there watching the show, Tomotsu is definitely the representation of that one otaku that is passionate about wrestling, card games, or what have you. Akiba's Trip the animation is a pretty straightforward show. What you see is what you get. The show follows an episodic formula with a villain of the week that focuses on some aspect of Akihabara. The villains of the show are essentially the same as the ones from the PS Vita game, except instead of being called synthesizers, they're called the bug ones. And they're not exactly vampires in this adaptation, they're more like mind control slaves by these weird looking creatures. The show really grew on me over its course of the run. It has this Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it, and I really enjoy that shit. Akiba's Trip used its last few episodes to create a finale that really embodies the essence of Akihabara and its residents. It's kinda like that Jackie Chan adventure when all the episodic demons of the week came together for the final arc. Like I said, it's a Saturday morning cartoon here. Of course, Akiba's Trip is a fan service franchise, so you're going to get the obvious fan service that is packaged with the show. Each episode does find a way to strip down all the girls, but it could always be worse. The comedy is there for those who can relate to the scenarios. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, besides Gonzo shamelessly plugging themselves in every chance they get, each episode can be an advertisement for J-pop groups in its ending credits. So if you're looking into getting into J-pop, then go look through each episode's ending credits cause there's 12 songs to choose from. The finale takes a different approach with its ending credits. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Akiba's Trip. If you're not into simple shows that just want to have fun with its zany premise, then you may as well look elsewhere. But for those of you who are fans of Akiba's Trip for the PS Vita and the PSP, and you're looking forward to Akiba's Beat, then this is something that will definitely mold you over until then. Don't let the character designs turn you off, cause I'll admit that they do grow on you. Also, I did have a soft spot for Mayo when she had her tsundere moments. And for those of you who have watched Akiba's Trip the animation and are thinking about buying the game, then yeah, go for it. I encourage you to go out and buy it. Anyways, thanks for watching.